Hey guys, back again, and we have a super new product out. It is our TR Plus throttle controller. Now, the awesome thing about this, and compared to other throttle controllers on the market, is we have two exclusive features for this particular unit. One of them is crawl control, so that's a specific setting to help you. It dulls down the throttle and makes driving off-road and on bumpy terrain a lot easier and a lot more controlled. And the second one is beast mode, which is if you want the ultimate in acceleration, you can use the beast mode, and then that'll give you sharpen up that throttle response and give you the ultimate acceleration. You get everything in the box to install it to your vehicle. A couple of unique features is it has specific throttle curves or adjustment curves, whether you have a manual or an automatic transmission, which also sets it from all the other throttle controllers out there on the market. So this will be available from all our stockists, which you can find out who they are, or the closest one to you, on our website, and it's also available on our website as well, so www.directionplus.com.au. So we've got our Ranger here. We're going to put this throttle controller on the car and show you exactly how to install it and go through the different settings on it, covering off our crawl mode and also our beast mode. So obviously everything comes in the box for you to install it to your vehicle. So take the throttle controller. So this is just the control panel. Just put that to one side. And then behind here you have your adapter harness. So these are vehicle specific. So obviously if you've got the wrong one, it's not going to fit your car. And the process is all we're doing is we're unplugging the plug that's on the factory throttle, which will be a plug similar to this. And then you plug that one back onto the factory throttle, and then you plug this back into the harness that was attached to your throttle. You run this up inside the dash, and you find a convenient place to put your control panel, and most people in normal just stick it off to one side of the steering wheel in a convenient place. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this installed. So we just unplug the throttle cable, which will be this plug here. So in particular on the Ranger, there's this catch here which you have to lift up before you can push the button and pull that off. So we'll just pop this one back on. Make sure you push that little security tab back in, and you plug the other end of the adapter back into the factory harness. And once again pushing that tab back in so you can make sure that it doesn't come out. Now the actual control box here, you just zip tie that up out of the way, and there's some zip ties in the kit. So once you have the harness down here zip tied up out of the way so it's not going to drop down and interfere with your pedals, you just run the cable up to wherever you're going to put the control panel. Take off the cover for the adhesive on the back. Make sure that the surface that you're going to stick it to is clean, and stick that on with a little bit of pressure to make sure that the tape sticks properly. We just clean up the the rest of the loose wiring with another zip tie. And tuck it up underneath there, and then that is as complicated as an installation gets. So now that we have the throttle controller installed, we'll go through and how to calibrate the throttle to the new throttle controller. And you need to do, every time you install it or uninstall it and reinstall it, you should do this process just to make sure that it works properly. And we'll go through the individual settings as well. So now that we've got that installed, we'll turn the car on without starting it and make sure that the screen lights up. To calibrate the throttle, you want to push the 2 arrow buttons together and hold those for 5 seconds. So once you get that calibrate countdown, you put your foot on the pedal all the way down and hold it for at least 1 second and then release it. Once it's finished, it'll say succeed, and then that is the throttle calibrated. So once you've calibrated the throttle, you want to set this AT to either an MT or an AT, depending on whether you have a manual transmission or an automatic transmission. To do that, you hold the right arrow down for 5 seconds, and that will change it to either MT for manual transmission or AT for automatic transmission. And this just adjusts how the curves affect depending on the kind of transmission that you have. For an automatic transmission, it'll accelerate that curve a little bit quicker. For a manual transmission, it won't be quite so aggressive. And so now we'll go in and we'll go through the different modes. So at the moment, the controls are pretty simple. So M is for mode, so that will cycle through the different modes. The left arrow and the right arrow will cycle up and down the individual settings per mode. So at the moment we're on normal mode, so that is like the throttle controller is off. The next one is comfort mode. So this is a dulled down version of the standard throttle response, and as mentioned, you use the arrows to scroll up and down depending on the settings that you like. Next one is sport. So this is a bit more aggressive than the standard throttle response, and once again you can adjust that up and down from there. So 9 is the maximum and 1 is the minimum. So next we have beast mode. So once again you have the full 9 settings. This will give you the maximum throttle response and most aggressive acceleration that your vehicle can perform. So that you'd use around town if you're dragging your mate off the traffic lights. And last but not least, we have our crawl mode. So this is specifically for four-wheel driving. So this is a really dulled down throttle response and is specifically designed to make sure that you don't have that jerky throttle response when you're four-wheel driving off-road on rough terrain. So that'll dull the throttle down and make the vehicle much more nicer to drive off-road. So that's the different settings. Don't forget that you can buy this product both online at www.directionplus.com.au, but also you can jump on our website and find a stockist that's closest to you, and you'll be able to pick one of these up locally.